Hello everyone and welcome back to EVE Market, your weekly look at the amarr market. FanFest is behind. FanFest this year, it was this weekend, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Thursday I missed most of the keynotes because I thought it was starting on Friday. And so I didn't pay attention too much to it, so most of it I missed. I tracked most of the Friday and the Saturday. A lot of stuff coming on, a lot of changes. Uh, it's all here in the dev blocks, and there's so much like structures. Gonna be completely doing structures. Redo them. You have now these basic structures. You have completely new things. You have even gonna get structure fitting to it, so you can design, put certain modules, stuff all on a structure. You name it, you can put it on. You see completely new changes to it. This is an assembly array, that's a work in progress. Research laboratories, market and officers hubs, drilling platforms, observatory arrays, and even gates, administration hubs. There's so much in it. And here's even a concept of housing. Like you have your capitals sitting on the side, like docked on the station. A lot of stuff coming in. They are planning to it. You see clearly new fuel windows, structure management, so who can use even the structures, certain text on it. There's a lot of on it. EVE Universe, new Art of New Eden. They're planning completely new explosions for the ships that looked very nice. I was not able to find it here. The new sovereignty was in there. Details about drifters, battleship, ballasons, UI modernization, icon strategy. Gonna be complete new icons. Download on demand, so now if you're gonna play EVE, you're gonna get completely all the whole client you need to download straight away. Download on demand is then you're only gonna get the necessary things first, and the client will download later on more stuff when you need it. So it's not the full client anymore. There's so much gonna be here. The CSM 10 was announced there. There were a few that stayed in there. I think the 2 or 3 that stayed in there. One of them I know out of my head was Core Blood Brothers. I do know him in game too. Yeah, there's too much to talk about. It's all in the dev blocks. One thing that they do mention about completely do the ores in nullsec. So they want nullsec to be more self-sustaining. So providing all the minerals they need in nullsec to build everything. That's what they're planning to do. So this means that it's gonna be probably less sine width, less megasite, less morphite from nullsec to high sec. So that's probably gonna be increasing in price then. But then again, they're gonna buy less of the other ores of minerals in high sec, so titanium, ferrite, isogen, maxillon, noxium. So I think then those prices gonna drop down. But there are no details out of it. That's the only thing they said. They're gonna completely redo the ores in nullsec. That's the only thing we know now. There's nothing else out of that for this. So not what exactly they're gonna change to the ores, how much there's gonna be in. I don't think they're gonna change how much is in the ores, but definitely there's gonna be like more titanium in nullsec and like that. But then no details out of it as yet. Alright, we're 5 minutes in. We're gonna go now towards the mark because that's what we're here for. And so I got titanium in front of me. Wait, just in the Sunday on Eve at least. On my time, we're already an hour in Sunday. Next week is gonna be even worse, and it's 2 hours in the Sunday. Titanium, it's still going up in price. For this whole week, it's been climbing up slowly. There seems to be a little bit, a few, one or two dips in it in the whole list. And it seems to be about Wednesday, Thursday, these dips. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, small dips, but the other days are climbed back up again. This is even that's the Friday or the Saturday. There's no data available again. I need to record this earlier or much later. This is the times I can do it most easily, the recording. So yeah, titanium has been going up this week again. Seller price 5.97. Go up my sheet for a moment. And buyer's price 5.95. Basically it's a slight increase since last week, not a huge amount. 5.91 was last week's price, so it's a very small increase for it, not too much. Basically it's pretty much stable around the same price. Ferrite then, you saw a quick glimpse on this amount of that's on the market, but there's, like last week, there's still a shortage here on ferrite on the market. You can also clearly see it here on the price. It's going up, it's going to the roof currently. The 5-day average is suddenly in the weekend, just before the weekend, suddenly started to pick up and increasing pretty quickly. Above the 1340 currently here on the market. In amarr, it's really going up. The 20-day is definitely also made a king here. It's going even quicker up, the 20-day average. So ferrite, clear, there's a shortage on the market. Even I don't have hardly any ferrite left currently. I quickly bought a small amount in. I normal buy like 100 million ferrite in at once. In this case, was not even half. I bought 20 million in because the price is now currently climbing up so quickly for ferrite. As you can clearly see at the seller's price, 13.59 for the seller's price, and for the buyer's price 13.35. That's a pretty big increase since last week. 12.71 was last week's price, so ferrite is really climbing up quickly. It's definitely something I'm gonna keep a close eye on even this week to see where it's going. This is also, I see now, a new record on price, highest price for me on the sheet. Oh, my sheet was locking up a bit. That's fine. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Maybe something happening later on this week. Maybe do put a quick video out. I'm logging in lately almost every day, so I can keep a good eye on the ferrite price. Maxilon has the beginning of this week is sitting pretty. Still a small increase, but quickly later on the week it's starting to drop in price. Clearly, except for the Friday, it's sitting pretty normal price around this 59. That's even a bit low. And 60 is pretty normal price. But yeah, the rest of the week was dropping in price. So Maxilon seems to be a little bit too much on the market currently. I'm starting to drop. 20-day average also dropping, especially today. It's early, but it's sitting pretty low. So I think Maxilon is going to drop even further. For the seller's price 58.70, for the buyer's price 58. And they're not really a huge amount here in amarr. The decent size orders, that's for sure, but there are not too many on the market. Last week's price was 58.75, so that's a 75 drop in price, and it can drop pretty quickly because this one is 58. It's only 12 million units. This should be easily fulfilled in a day time because there's yeah, on average there's 200 million sold per day here in amarr, so this one can easily get fulfilled. I mean, even gonna drop to 56 then. So we can get so Maxilon is pretty low on price currently. I may even set up a buy order. I'm not sure yet. I need to check my supplies, how much I got currently. So Maxlon is on the drop in price. Oxygen has still been going up this week. Pretty steady lineup. Except for the Friday, it suddenly went a lot up, a lot quicker. Still just below the 125. It went up pretty quickly. So yeah, reason I don't know. It's just moving a bit, and it has been very low. So people think it's low. A lot of buy orders popping up. People I think are gonna buy low. It's probably even later on this week or beginning this week, next week, happening for the Maxwell. Seller's price 122.53. Buyer's price 121.72. It's a small increase in the price. 121.02 was last week's price. So it's a very small increase for oxygen on this price. I think this price increase is going to keep on going slightly this week. I don't think it's going to do really too much. I think it's going to hit around 125. Because we had already a spike here. And then suddenly dropped and then it's going up again. You see the normal price about 120 for oxygen, so it's still going a little bit high. So I think it's gonna hit around 125 and after that it starts dropping again. That's I think it's gonna do, but you never know, Eve. Noxium is also seeing an increase in price. The additional flash was something I sold on the market. It's increasing in price. You see it's on the Friday hit 660. The Saturday is no data available. Sunday is a small amount. It's sitting already pretty high. So Noxium definitely is going to keep on going up in price. 5 and 20-day average clearly going up. And the seller's price 666 is the devil numbers. 666 for the sellers, for the buyers 653. That's an increase. 650.20 was last week's price. So that's a small increase in price for Noxium. Then the next one is Zynerit. Wow. It is something unexpected. Zynerit has been so long sitting around the 400 per unit. And now suddenly on the first day, it looks like someone's trying to crash the market on the Zynerit because it went up. It went in the middle of the week slightly up towards 440, it looks like it. It's been sitting there for like 3 days. And then suddenly a huge spike on sales. It's like 100 million units or something on Zynerit being bought on the market. It's kind of incredible spike up towards the 700. That's for the first day, and even the that's the first day. This is the Friday mark. It's only going up in price. The Saturday mark is not available, and for today we're sitting already dropped to 600 again. But it's a huge spike has been here for Zynerit. It's been so stable for such a long time. We picked a 6-month chart. It's pretty stable here, around the 450, slowly dropping. Then we had a small spike here. For no reason, just an increase. A lot of people buying some Zynerit in. It went up for 550, then it dropped nice to 450 again. And then suddenly start dropping even more. A pretty big drop here. You can see this is the highest amount being sold for at least a half year marker. Let's go for a year. Even for a year, this is the highest amount that's been sold in a whole year graph. And see that straight away Zynoid getting pushed up towards where it was a year ago on price. It's still lower, but that's incredibly high amount. Now let's look at the prices. You see the price is definitely pushing up by this. Seller's price 661.98 and the buyer's price 560.13. That's a huge increase in the price for Zynoid. Last week's price was still sitting at 406.21. That was last week's price. So this is definitely a big change for this. And I wonder what it's gonna do next week for the price. We really need to keep an eye on closely this week what it's gonna do. Maybe sending out a midweek video. I don't know yet. But yeah. So yeah. Someone definitely tried to do something with Zynoid. But there's still a decent amount on the market, so there's maybe there's a chance maybe people thinking of, oh crap, I need to sell Zynoid now because the price went up. And that's gonna drop the price again. But already it looks like it's starting to happen. Alright, then Megasite. Wonder if this is have the same story. Yes, Megasite, same story. A huge spike on sales. There was already one here, but it didn't have any effect on the price this month. And there's another one here today. It's pushing the Zynoid up just below 1,000 per unit. It's a little bit a later spike than. No, it's the same day. It's the same day that this spike is happening. The amount of sales, it's around, I guess around 15 million units here in one day sold. I can even look closer at the graph. Yeah, almost 70 million units sold in one day. Let's take a quick look at Zynoid back. That's almost 25 million units sold in one day. And that's really, it's like I need to really count quickly. About 6 times more than normal per day it's been sold. So yeah, that's definitely pushing the price up. You can clearly see 520 day are just making a spike straight up. So it was sitting just below 1,000. Looks like 980, 970. It's been sitting there. Today price already dropping to about 930. It looks like it. So yeah, also here someone is buying a huge amount of stuff. Maybe people are preparing for the new changes, building ships, I don't know. Seller's price 972.24, buyer's price 871.03. Last week's price 710.10. So also here a pretty big increase for Megasite. I missed most of the keynotes because first they were a lot of the keynotes of FanFest. So I missed most of them. So maybe there was an announcement there that people think, oh, I'm gonna buy these minerals in. Let's see what Morphite is doing. Not really a huge amount of sales. There seems to be a little bit more for the normal amounts being sold. The Friday seems to be has been pretty normal with the sales amount. The Saturday has definitely gone up a bit higher than normal. Prices for Morphite also still going up. Pretty clearly up in price. 20 days also going slightly, still going up. Yeah, Morphite. It's still a shortage on the market here. I've seen a little bit growing the market for Morphite last week, but again, it's just seems to be crashing. There's nothing else for sale somewhere else in the region. Buy orders are just still there. So this also means that Tech 2 modules are gonna go up in price if this short is gonna be. I haven't checked Jita again. I've been on that today, but I haven't checked it out how it was there. So seller's price 6,150, just below it. Buyer's price 5,816. Last week's price 5,550.70. So that's still an increase in price for Morphite, and definitely new record since I started tracking it. That was also for Megasite, by the way. So yeah, it's clearly going up in price. So basically all the minerals that's coming out of nullsec has been increasing in price pretty high. That's Zinewit, Megasite and Morphite. Morphite basically because there's a shortage on, and Zinewit and Megasite was someone bought in a hell of a load. Maybe looking at goons? I don't know. They don't have done that before. Salvage, armor plates. The beginning of this week they have been dropping clearly. Dropping to almost 100,000 again. It's almost on about 2.5 weeks later. It's doing the same thing, 2.5-3 weeks later. After that it started recovering up again on price, climbing back to 107,000, 108,000. It's still basically sitting around the same price, but with bigger ups and downs. 111,000 for the sellers. That's clearly more than 500 units, and 106,000 just above it for the buyers. It's a very small drop since last week, almost none. 106,002 was last week's price, so it's dropped with 2 ISK in price, so that's almost nothing for the armor plates. Burn logic circuits those are still going up in price. They have had a small dip early this week, dropping to 36,000 from the 39,000 just above it. But after that, the day after it started crawling back up to the 37,000, then above the 38, 30.5 looks like it. And we're now back up to, looks like a new record of 40,000 per unit. So they're making now then a small drop and then just going back up. It is normal trend up. Just below the 42,000 for the seller's price, and just above the 40,000 for the buyer's price. That's a pretty big increase since last week's, because last week's price was still at 36,000 and 1 ISK. So it's now at 40,000. It's a 4,000 increase in price for burn logic circuits in 1 week time. Fried interface circuits doing the same thing. Also, these are going up in price. They've been early this week pretty stable with a small, little bit a lower price, but it's pretty stable around 3,400. And then for the next few days, it's starting to crawl up 3,500, 3,600, 3,700. I'm surprised a lot of salvage suddenly moving. This can be because of structure fitting. I don't know if you could put rigs on it. I can't remember it now out of my head. I don't think you could, but so yeah, that's suddenly increasing in price too. A lot of the salvage are increasing in price. I'm really surprised about it. Seller's price 4,486.96. That's by the way small amount, but the 97 is the next one. So 4,086.97 for the seller's price. For the buyer's price, not too many, by the way. And that's surprising that the price is still increasing then, while there's not too many sellers or buyers. But the buyer's price sitting at 3,600. Still again, that's an increase in price. Just because of these two big ones are here, it has been increasing price. If this one was still here, we had the same price as last week. So you know why the last week's price was 3,401. Now saying 3,600. Then melted capacitor consoles. They're still pretty steadily going up in price, at least on the end of this week, beginning of this week. They were very stable, sitting around the same price, not moving a lot around. But after that they started to go up in price a bit, sitting at 4,500 per unit. Then for the prices, there's still not too many buyers on the market. Mine is still sitting here nice and quietly at the 2,200, hoping to fulfill it. At least for the seller's price, we're sitting at the 5,094. That's more than 500 units. And for the buyer's price, sitting flat at 4,500. 250 higher than last week's. 4,250 was last week's price. So that's has been increasing still. Then go to the last one. Well, almost last one. I was gonna look at the SIF pool still. They did announce, by the way, the new one for the Cadary one. But trip power circuits, they have been going down for a pretty long time. Until the beginning of this week, they suddenly start to go up in price. Also going up in price. So 20-day average decided to stay on a flat line. You think, you go up, I don't. But the 5 days is responding a lot quicker, of course, because only 5-day average. It is going up in price. It's not a huge amount, it's just a small spike, and seems to be stabilizing already a bit at the end. But then again, we're missing the Saturday here, and the Sunday is just a small amount. Sunday seems to be still a little bit higher. It seems to be still going slightly up, but not too fast. For the seller's price, just below 34,000. For the buyer's price, 31,111.15. That's increased since last week. 29,012 was last week's price. Has clearly been increasing in price for trip houses. All the salvage has been increasing in price, surprisingly. Take a quick look around. Yeah, they all have been increasing in price. Then SIF pool. For the last day we checked this one out because they've been now for a month on the market. And in game, of course. They have been going down this week. There seems to be a pretty high spike for today. Yeah, someone bought them for 42.9 million in the total of 8 sold. So that's why this one is a little bit higher, but on average it's starting to very stabilize. It seems to be dropping a little bit more in price towards the 35 million even. But yeah, it's pretty stable around between the 40 and 35 million. It's in pretty much 38 and 9 million. It's a pretty normal price for this. 42.9 million is for the sellers and about 34.9 million for the buyers. It did went slightly up since last week. It was 39 million, so it went about 3 to 4 million up in price on the seller's price. And if you want to look at Plex, here you have it. About 680. Nah, 780. 780 million and a half for the buyers and 798 million for the sellers. So this was this week's look at the amarr market. Hope you liked the video, and see you all next week. Fly safe.